So this is how you start using the SpecWin software, either SpecWin Pro or SpecWin Lite. So once you have the software loaded up, if it's the first time, you will need to configure this software to the spectrometer. So the way you do that is click on the configuration button over here. Okay, once this pops up, click on spectrometer over here. As you can see, I already have a spectrometer linked here, but if you don't have one, then you click add. Spectrometer type, it's either CAS 140 or CAS 120. This is the default name, but you could change it to any one. So we could just go to test. You can see there's one more spectrometer called test loaded up over here. At the same time, you will see it over here as well. So click on this, and then over here under calibrations, this is empty. You just click this, and for me, I do have some calibration files that I previously loaded up. If not, you could click import calibrations. So there's two ways to import it, either from a directory which you have on your PC or on a CD, or from the spectrometer itself. Okay, so today I will just be using the one from the directory. I already have a directory over here. If you do not, you can just click over here and search for the directory, and then you can just click import calibrations. Okay, now that's done, it says calibration import successful. Close this as well, and you will see that there's a calibration file already loaded up here. And this is a default description. If you do not like this description, you could change it to anything else. So I will just put test sphere. Okay. So another thing that's important to note, that currently it is set to demo mode. Please click this and then change it if you are using USB or you are using PCIe or Ethernet. Okay, so depending on which configuration, which connection type you are using, select that mode. So it's selected USB, and you can click apply. Go on. So currently I do not have a device connected here to run a test, so I will be using my default spectrometer, and I'm going to set it to demo mode. Okay. Now that that's connected, you can see that over here you may have different setups. So this is the mode that I'll be using right now, and then there's also the test sphere which you have. So depending on which type of accessory or which type of spectrometer, please select the relevant one. Okay, and before we take any measurements, it is quite important to set the parameters as well. So you can click on the parameters. So we have to set our integration time. Either it's fixed integration, you could select any number. So this is currently default to 20 milliseconds. It could be 200 milliseconds, or it could be about 50 milliseconds depending. And then there's another method where we set auto ranging. Okay, auto ranging is very useful when you do not know which integration time you like to use, but you know a desired signal level. So for an example, when you're measuring a light and you want to have the signal level between, let's say, 80 to 100%, and we'll give it a maximum integration time, so that if it doesn't reach the signal level at this point of time, it will just stop taking measurements. So let's just select this to be within 100 milliseconds, for example. And there could be time that the light is too bright and it gets oversaturated. So we could click use density filter, so that the spectrometer will pick the appropriate density filter for the measurement. Okay, we'll click OK, and that's done. Before we take any measurement, it's advisable to do a dark current measurement. A dark current is when the spectrometer closes the shutter to prevent any light going into the sensor, and then it actually calculates the amount of dark noise that it has. So just click on the dark current button, and Once it's done, the other buttons should come back to blue color. Now that that is done, I could just directly click measure. And since I do not have a source and I'm running on demo mode, this is the spectral response that I get over here. And over here you can see there's a load of data. Okay, so we have our settings from the integration time that we use to the signal level, to the observer. So if you notice that in my parameters I set it to be maximum at 100 milliseconds to cut off. So within 100 milliseconds it only detected 26% signal level. So perhaps my setting was not good enough. Let's just change this parameter to 1 second. And we'll run the measurement again. So we have a better spectral response curve over here now that we take another measurement. It took 333 milliseconds. It achieved a signal level of 84%. Okay. So as I scroll down, I will see more results. I could see the radiometric in watts, photometric in lumens, the color coordinates, peak wavelength, dominant wavelength, CCTs, the CRIs, TM30, okay, and the list goes on. However, if you like to just record a particular data sets, right, what can be done is over here in measurement series. So default here I'm already set to numbers, radiometric watts, photometric lumens, radiometric units, photometric units. Okay, and let me close this. So now when I click this play button or start button over here and I start taking measurements, it will start recording them over here. So I'll take about 4 measurements. Yeah. So I've taken 4 measurements, and over here you can see that for the 4 measurements, what was the radiometric units in watts, the photometric units in lumens, the peak wavelength, and the color temperature. However, this is not the only set of data that you can output. Just by clicking this small icon next to the number, I get the full range of items that I can select. So let's say I would like the X and Y coordinate. I could either scroll down to find that, or I could just type in the filter up here X. Okay, so I get results tri-stimulus X, and now like Y as well. Sorry, color coordinates, my mistake. So it has appeared over here. And if I would like to move it around, I will just select it and drag to the desired location. Additionally, if I would like to stop recording this measurement series, I could click stop. Over here, if I save this, I would save it as a measurement series file, so that subsequently when I open up the software, I could continue taking measurements in this series. If you just like this data over here, you could select all of this and copy it to clipboard over here with the copy button, and you could load it up in a desired software, for example Excel. And you could paste it over here. That would pretty much cover the basic of using SpecWin software.